What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, coming to you live this Tuesday, this cold Tuesday here in Maryland on the 10th of October with Coach Bernard Clark. You are now joining us on our morning and weekly conversations through the eye of the Tiger, aka Tiger is Coach Bernard Clark Jr., which we found out last week. Good morning, Coach. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Pitch. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain. I can, but won't nobody listen, so I'm doing well.
There you go. There you go. Ain't nobody trying to listen and complain. Everybody wants to hear positive stuff.
Right. So, talk to me about this weekend. How did everything go with the Colonials up at
To be
Gardner
honest
Webb?
with you, it was a tough weekend for us. We started out not playing well, and that's what hurt us more than anything else. Again, the first drive by the offense, playing against Gardner Webb University, first drive by the offense, we're going down, we're moving the ball. What happens? Offsides, illegal motion. Now we're first and 15. So we don't get it. We don't get it. Have to punt it. Excuse me. Go down. The defense gets on the field. They run it right down the field. Missed tackles. Touchdown. So the things that you and I spoke about happened in the first quarter, and before we know it, we're down 21-0. The crazy thing about the game, as our guys got their bearings and got going, we started playing well. We give up 28 points in the first half. We give up 3 points in the second half. So It's 12 minutes left in the game. The score is 16-31. We have an opportunity to win the game. We just didn't have enough muster to get down the field and put the points on the board like we needed to. But I told the guys I was happy with the way they played the second half. Happy meaning that, you know how happy is. That's happenstance. That's happy with the situation at that time. So I was happy with how they played at that time, but I'm not happy with the loss to help them understand those things. And so I was happy with how they finished the game. They didn't go out there. They didn't quit. But at the same time, we lost the game. So it's something that we can build from. And we still got to have the confidence to go back out there and do the things we're supposed to do. But we didn't have the confidence early on. So we didn't play well. That's why we lost the football game. But the confidence built on. And so we got something to build on as a team. But, being 2-4, I'm not happy about it. And you and I spoke about this last week. When I walked into the locker room after the game was over, we had just lost the game. And literally 5 minutes after we lost the game, guys are giggling, talking, hanging out with their parents. And again, I get it. I get it, but I don't get it. So it's one of those situations where it was tough for me as an older guy to look and see guys giggling and laughing and having a good time after we just lost the football game. And I know it's not life or death. I understand that. It's not life or death. But at the same time, you got to have some kind of feelings about when you lose a football game, when you put your all into it, when you put your heart into it, when you do all this work to get it going, and then you lose. It's a tough pill to swallow for me personally.
I think it's something new because I've been noticing it up and down the sports spectrum, and I don't know if it's related or if it's connected to something I said last week. And we talked about the fact that nowadays, even if you don't come in first place, you're rewarded. So even though you didn't earn, a reward, you still got one. And I feel like it takes the whole personable feeling out of it because there's no way I can lose a game and then knowing that I gave my all, and then walk away and not be dejected, not have some type of feeling about, regardless of how I may have played individually, but how we played together as a team, as a unit. And the fact that at the end of the day, we realized that the team that we played was not better than us. We did not give our best shot.
Right.
That is mind-boggling for me because it's a problem. Because then it'd be like, well, do you really care? Is your heart really in it? And I'm not saying this to you for your players. I'm just saying it in general. That is a question that I constantly ask myself because, I'm looking at players on the sideline laughing, doing their little hand shakes, and I'm like, why? Well, you're losing.
Yes.
There's nothing to celebrate right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm on the same page you're on it. Like I said, after the game, it was tough pill for me to swallow because Gardner Webb was a good football team, but we squandered opportunities that we had to win that game. And I'm not taking anything away from Gardner Webb, just like I didn't take anything away from Howard. Good football teams played well, had their guys prepared to win the football game. But when you squander opportunities or you make bad mistakes when you shouldn't be making mistakes, when you should be fitting here, you're not fitting here, you're not going full speed, you miss a tackle, you get a penalty. All those things play. You don't block the right guy, you end up giving up a sack. All those things.
Right.
And then at the end of the game, no big deal. We'll go to the next one. Doesn't sit well with me personally. So it's kind of one of those situations where, as an older guy, I have to walk in and understand. I constantly tell the players, I want you to hear what I'm saying. I don't want you to hear what you heard. So hear what I'm saying to you and understand what I'm saying to you and not what you've heard. I am not criticizing you personally as a person, but your performance was not up to par. And constantly you have to find yourself doing that because a lot of these young men, they take it personal as opposed to taking it as, okay, he's criticizing my performance. Now, we do have some young men that understand it's performance-based and not personal-based, but at the same time, you have to always come into the room with that declaration of helping them understand that, hey, this is not about you personally. This is about your performance.
But they have to understand that sometimes it is about them personally because you're one of 11. Everybody has to do their job. It's helmet on helmet. So at the end of the day, and that's the one thing that I dislike about society as today is that we coddle and we try to pacify, instead of really going at and saying, hey, as a unit, we did not do well. But individually, this is what you could have done better, because then there's no way for us to get better. It's like basically saying that it's trying to, like I said before, at my kid's school, I used to email the principal like, hey, my son got straight A's for the last 6 years. I have not seen a high honor roll or anything. And they like, oh, we don't do that anymore. But why not? We don't want to make the other kids feel any type of way. Well, then that becomes an individual that's an individual issue. That has nothing to do with me and my child. You want your child to do the best so they can be rewarded, but you're not going to reward my child to make other kids not feel any different. It doesn't make sense, because now you're still leaving them on the same playing field where they're not doing the same work. For whatever reason, the other children can't do that work to their ability to get the grades and honor roll. Okay, you have to figure it out on an individual basis, but don't flatline it to be a total unit across where now you're penalizing someone who did the work to get the results they did. But the person who's not, and they know they're not, they don't have to worry about being ostracized because they know it's frowned upon. I just think that in today's world, man, in sports in general, it has become egotistical. I don't understand how you can be sensitive in a game where your performance matters, because overall, if you don't do your job, you are now a liability to the team.
Yeah,
and that could deter us from our ultimate goal. Yeah. So at some point, like, hey, Pitts, excuse my language, you fucked that block up. You hit your block. We got a touchdown. Other than to say, offense, y'all gotta get it together. Well, it wasn't everybody on the offense that did it. It was Pitts.
Yeah.
So Pitts missed his assignment. So Pitts should bear responsibility for that missed assignment.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's no doubt about it. And the conversation I had with the guys yesterday in our team meeting was, what are you doing to help us win? Period. I mean, what are you doing to help us win? Are you being the best player you can be on scout team to help our offense prepare to win games? Or are you being lackadaisical and they're just blocking you and you're making it easy for them in practice, so when they get in the game, it's even tougher because now the guy across them is trying to kill them, and all week long you've been pacifying them and helping them do what they need to do to achieve the play that they need to achieve? Are you working hard enough? A prime example, we have a young man on our team, and I don't like to shout out young men in general, but he's been here for the last 5 years. His name is Jamar Shagag. And Shagag got hurt, and he was one of our starters. And in order for him to see if he could go or not, last week, Jamar went down to the scout team. He's a linebacker. He went to the scout team, and he practiced with the scout team because he wasn't healed properly. So he wanted to see how his knee felt. Can I still make the reads? And am I going to be 100% to help our team win? Now, he did this. He took this upon himself. This isn't something that we told him to do. He went down to the scout team and got his reads down and ran to the ball. And he said, Coach, the knee's a little bit still loose, but want to keep working down on scout team. This is something he took upon himself. See, that's what he's doing to help us win. That's what
Yes.
guys don't understand. You don't wait till Saturdays to help us win. What are you doing on a regular basis? How are you training during practice to help us win? And it's exactly what you're talking about. Your son trained to get those A's. He put himself in position to get those A's, and he should be rewarded for that. When a young man is doing what he's supposed to do in practice, and he's busting his behind, and he's doing the things he's supposed to do to help us win football games, then he's going to get rewarded by playing, whatever the situation may be. And if he's not doing those things in practice, he won't be rewarded. And that's what it boils down to. It's like our running game. I talked to our running backs about this because we still haven't had that breakout back yet. We still haven't had it yet. And so in the meeting yesterday, the conversation was because everybody's, I saw some running backs pouting about not playing or whatever the situation may be. I said, well, this is how simple it is, guys. If anybody on this team sees a running back or has seen a running back in any game that we've played who's broke out and became unbelievable, and it showed each coach that he should be the starter, please come to my office after this meeting's over and let me know. There was no one at my door because guys know that we haven't had that. We've had running back by committee, and all of them done good, but no one's done outstanding or great yet.
Right.
And we're still waiting for that. And so what have you done to help us win? So it's a situation where we're trying to be as honest with you about your abilities and your deficiencies as we can. But again, at the same time, sometimes I find myself not speaking true honesty because I don't want to break a young man down. At the same time, I want to be able to coach you without you thinking I'm demeaning you. I know I want to be demanding. I don't want to be demeaning, but he has to understand and be able to distinguish the differences.
Right. So with Gardner Webb, I know we talked about the running back, and you was talking. It looked like you guys held the running back in check. He didn't have a breakout game.
He had the first play. He called a 71-yard pass, and he took it to the house on us. But as far as running the ball, we did a great job of holding the running game down. I mean, we held them to 305 yards of total offense. So it wasn't a situation where we didn't play well. Like I said, that first quarter just killed us. After that first drive, they scored. We get stopped on offense. We punted to them. They return it to the plus 48. They score another touchdown. The offense goes on the field again. We punt it. Our punter fumbles the ball. They recover it on the 45-yard line, a short field. They score again. So you see what I'm saying? So those mistakes against a good football team, we just can't have them and then try to come back. We got to put ourselves in position to make sure we're maintaining. It was the same thing with Howard the week before. First quarter, we play unbelievable. Then the second quarter, we play horrible. Then we're trying to come out of that hole. It was the same thing last week. First touchdown, boom. They return a punt, boom, on the plus side of the field. Next time, plus side of the field. They only had one drive where they drove the ball, I think it was 90-something yards to score a touchdown, as opposed to the rest of the time was a short field. When you give a team a short field, it's hard to stop it.
It's hard to defend. So it was more so that they, as in Gardner Webb, was able to capitalize on the misfortunes of the Colonials. And yes, like you said, that was a catalyst in the Howard game as well. And we talked about it as well, how important situational football is and how each, I call it branches of the football team, they play a vital part in each other, when it comes to can the offense get, if they get a nice punt, can the offense give us enough drives? We want to score, but can you get us out of the hole? And then if you can't, can we get a couple first downs? And then for special teams, can we flip it by getting a nice punt? So, when those things do not occur, it then puts the defense on the short field. Back's already against the wall. So the error of margin continues to slim down.
Yeah, people got to understand, too, and I've told our guys this on several occasions. This is something I saw years ago. When the offense starts out on the minus 20, they have like 1 in 30 chances of scoring. When they start on the minus 40, they have 1 in 8. So it shows you the difference in just 20 yards of how crucial it is and how important it is what you just talked about, having field position and putting ourselves in position to scoring games.
And when you talk about the tale of two halves, it's always a tale of two halves. So in that situation, it sounds like the defense was able to, buckle down and make better, shorter tackles in the second half. And it was more so now just trying to get the offense to put up some points because it could have been the reverse. Their first quarter could have been, you guys' fourth quarter, or
Yes.
or third quarter could have been because, like you
Mhm.
said, to give up, it was 21 in the first, and then what was it, another 7 in the second quarter, so it was
Yeah.
28,
Yeah.
right? And then they only had 3 in the second half. So tell it 2 halves, which we don't want to look at it as second half. We win, but we don't win the game because
Right.
of the things that took place in the first half that we weren't
Hmm.
able to capitalize or to rebound back from. And starting slow, do you think that when your team come out in the first half that they have they're not as loose? It's like they come out in the second half a lot more fired up than the first.
Hmm. Um, I know that it's kind of hard to. I don't know what we contribute that to. To be totally honest with you, I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out though, Pitts. To be honest with you, because it's something as a head coach I need to figure out is why can't we start fast? And I don't know if they're thinking about making a mistake or if they're trying to overcompensate for not doing something. Is their confidence not as high? Do they feel better coming from behind because they're used to not being in front?
Right.
I don't know. But the funny thing about it, in the two games that we won, they were outstanding. In the two games we won, our guys did exactly what they were supposed to do. They came out, they jumped on them early. Even when we got behind against St. Francis, we were still able to come back and score and get back to the lead. So we did those things properly. So I'm not sure what it is. But again, I know it's us as coaches. I always tell coaches, when it's something mental like that, it's on us as coaches. It's got something to do with mental and scheme. It's on us as coaches to figure it out. If it's something physical, then it's up to the players because the players still have to execute. Because and I know it's still a player's game. And I think running back Harris, I heard him tell the reporters this when they lost the game, I think against San Fran, and basically
the players play, coaches coach.
That's it. You don't know how this game is. You guys know how this game works. The players are the ones that have to execute the plays. The coaches have to put you in the right position. And so that's what it boils down to. We got to put our guys in the right position and in the right frame of mind, I think, as coaches, in order for them to go out there and understand, hey, this is going to work. This is going to work the first quarter, the second quarter, and let's get this half going the way we need to get it going.
Right. Again, for anyone that's watching as we are live, if you have any questions or comments that you would like to leave and give for Tiger, aka Coach Bernard Clark Jr., go ahead and type them up, put them in the chat, and I'll go ahead and ask them on air. So, Coach, what is our wow of the week?
Our wow this week is diligence. Careful and precise work or effort. Diligence. Because I still think we're missing some minor details and some stuff when it comes to what are you doing to help us win. And so let's be diligent in what we're doing on the field this week. Let's be extremely careful and precise on what we're doing, putting our guys as coaches, putting our guys in the best position to succeed, and players understanding what's your attributes and what's your deficiencies. I think that's where a lot of players nowadays hurt. I think every player thinks he's this great football player who can do everything. He doesn't understand what he's not efficient at. Like, prime example, one of my coaches earlier was talking about Brock Purdy. And everybody was talking about what Brock does well is he understands his deficiencies. He knows he's not this, he's not this, he's not this, but he knows what he is. And he does a great job of doing great at what he is. And everybody says the same thing about Tom Brady. He's not this, he's not this, he's not this. And I told our players this one time, and a buddy of mine by the name of Solomon Wilcox. Solomon told me this, and what Solomon said was, let's just don't look at the attributes. Let's just take Brady and Rodgers. Don't look at the attributes. Don't look at what they've won. Just look at them as players.
Right.
Who has the strongest arm? Who does this? Who does this? Who are you going to take as a quarterback? You're going to take Aaron Rodgers. Right. Now add all the accolades to it and all the attributes to it. Everybody's going to take Tom Brady. When you look at the physical part of it, it's one thing. But when you look at the mental part of it, it's different. So when you find that player that understands what his attributes are and what his deficiencies are, once he understands that, he can be an unbelievable player. But the problem is nowadays, so many players think they can do everything. I'm great. I can do everything. They don't understand their deficiencies.
But not only are the attributes important, the mental reps we talked about is important, and not only from being on the sideline perspective, but that means game film studying. The thing about The thing about Brock Purdy in that perspective is that Brock Purdy, he knows that he may not be the fastest quarterback. He knows he's not the most well liked quarterback. And when you say he does, he knows his strong sense and he sticks to those and he does not deviate from it. And he
Absolutely.
has a great supporting cast that enhances his strong sense. And he is very good visual. He reads defenses well that I don't think he gets a lot of credit for.
Hmm.
He moves safeties out of the box with his eyes. He's not staring down his receiver. I think my lights just went out on me.
We can still see you. You just kind of dark. You're in the dark more than anything else. Pitts will be right back, folks. He'll be right back.
That was weird. That was really weird. But he reads defense as well. And I think that's 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 the best part about him. He knows his strong sets. He doesn't try to be more than he is. He doesn't try to be like a Lamar Jackson. He's
Right.
himself. He's true to himself. And
Hmm.
that's okay. And that's the great thing about it. That's the confidence in yourself
Yep.
and not
But
trying
that's
to
what
be someone else.
but that's what it boils down to. And we're trying to get our players to understand that you're not great at this. You tell
Right.
a defensive lineman you're not Aaron Donald. You can't do what Aaron Donald does. But if you look at Aaron Donald's not 6'5", but he used
No.
that to his advantage. He plays with great leverage. He can bench press 500 pounds. He plays with his strength. He can run a 4.6, 4.5. So he uses his speed. He knows what he's good at, and he knows what he works with. He knows he's not a 6'5" defensive tackle, but he understands I can play with leverage and I can play with strength, and I can play with speed. So that just like you said, same thing with Brock Purdy. And the biggest thing I think with a lot of young people nowadays, especially athletes, I don't know if it's their parents telling them or everybody in the neighborhood telling them, hey, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. And they're not understanding what their deficiencies are. That's what they don't understand. Everybody's telling them how great they are, and you're
Yes.
so good at this. They forget that no, they're not great at this though. And like with a defensive lineman, you take a defensive lineman, like let's take Aaron Donald. We know that he's strong, he's short, and he's fast. But he plays with unbelievable leverage. His get off is phenomenal. What he doesn't try to do is play big and look in the backfield and try to swat people up. He plays to his advantages, and he knows exactly what his advantages are. It's no different than let's take the what's the outside linebacker name for the Cowboys?
Oh, Michael Parsons.
Parsons is another one. Knows he has speed, unbelievable speed, and he has quickness, and that's what he uses. He utilizes that in order to get to the quarterback. He gets the snap count. He jumps the snap count. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. He gets to, and he has strong hands and uses his hands phenomenally. He's not big. He's not going to bull rush anybody. He's not going to overwhelm anybody.
Right.
But he understands what he's gifted with, and I think that's what's lacking in a lot of the athletes today. They think they're good at everything, and they don't understand what they're gifted.
Right. And to your point, everybody's a coach.
Oh,
Everybody's a coach. I
well, you
mean, people
well,
that
you
have
know, and I
never
know
played as a coach.
every man in America can grill and coach football. So that's
Everybody's a coach. That's man when I tell you. But so when we talk about wows, would you say that last week's wow being confidence? Would you say that the first half the team didn't exude confidence, but in the second half they did? Or was it
absolutely.
that they trusted more? They didn't trust the first half, but they trusted more in the second half.
No, I think they exuded more confidence in the second half than they did in the first. And I think the reason for that is we gave up big yards and we gave up touchdowns in the first quarter. I think we gave up 21 points in the first quarter. And then once they started realizing that, man, we can move the ball, they started
Right,
realizing, man, we can tackle these guys. Now, I know Coach talked about the running backs being good, but we're able to stop this guy. We're putting them in the
right.
backfield. We're shutting them down. And I think that confidence slowly grew over the course of the game. And then the fourth quarter, our confidence was through the roof, but it was too late too late. We couldn't put the points up we needed to put up, and we couldn't put up we couldn't stop them where we needed to stop them. In certain situations, when I say stop them, I mean like 3 and out without them being able to
Right,
run the clock out. We
right.
were able to keep them out of the end zone, but we weren't able to stop them from
Right.
running the clock
We
out.
weren't able to get off the field on those
Yes,
crucial third down plays.
absolutely. So yeah, but I mean, again, but the confidence did grow, and that's why I think now with diligence, that's what's going to help your confidence grow even more because you're doing careful and precise work, effort, and that's what helps your confidence continue to grow. And again, like I said, I think about these words each week because I want to make sure they're connected each week with each other and they feed off of each other. And our guys have to understand those things.
And something that you said earlier, I agree with as well, man, is that teammates and scout team and whoever it is, regardless if you're the starter or not, you know, you're only as good as what you put out. You know, you can't allow the offense, first team offense and defense, to do whatever they want and dictate what they want just because they're the starters. You know, you got to challenge them. You know, and my coaches used to say all the time, dog them. Like, you know, you about to move yourself up into a spot. Show your worth. You on the scout team now. That don't mean you can't be, you know, on the depth chart, you know, next week. Show me why you're here. Show your worth. And
I tell guys all the time.
Dog them out.
I tell them exactly what you're telling them all the time. You're not over there to be a dummy. You're over there to show us what you're capable of doing. I watch scout team guys as much as I watch our first team guys to see who's giving the effort, who's playing unbelievable. You know, we have a young man right now. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a young man that transferred in. And unfortunately, when he transferred in, all of his credits didn't transfer in. Coach, let me tell you something. This guy's unbelievable. Every day he's full speed. Guys like, man, why don't you slow down? He's not listening to him. My man full tilt every day, no matter if he can be on scout team special teams or scout team offense or scout team defense. My man is full speed every play, nonstop. Because not only is he showing us what he's capable of, he's showing his teammates when he does get on the field next year what he's capable of. And I think this young man is going to be a good player for us.
But that's what you need. And
absolutely,
you need players to feel threatened that their job security ain't so secure as they think it is.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. So, you know, we're getting ready for this week. Like I said, being diligent in what we do. I thought practice went well last night. I think the guys are in tune with what we're doing. Got another message I need to give them today, you know, about making sure they understand. It's about, somebody asked a question. I heard a guy ask a question. What's more important, thinking positive or thinking less negative? And with us, it's thinking less negative. So I'm going to try to relay that message to them and help them understand a little bit as we go into this week.
Awesome. Coach, it was great. We diligent. So now I got to come up with, you know, I like to connect them all. So come Thursday, I'm going to be on it. You know,
all right. Sounds good.
But, you know, I saw from the box score, you know, I can just tell, you know, it's like you don't have to be there to see how a game, you know, unfolds. And when I seen the 21 and the 7, it's okay. They jumped out. There were some misfortunes that must have taken place.
Yep.
But then to see the second half pan out the way it did, it was like, okay, they were settled in. They were locked in. They played a better, almost damn near perfect second half. Just wasn't able to capitalize or wasn't able to, you know, regain from the damage that was already done. So, you know, look forward to Thursday, man. Through the Eye of the Tiger, myself, Pitts, and Coach Bernard Clark Jr. at Robert Morris University. It's going down every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Catch us live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Coach's Facebook page. Questions, comments, leave them. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to share your questions. Anything else before we go, Coach?
Let's go, Bobby Moe. Let's get it done.
Let's get it. It's your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV Sports. We out.